Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about the Air India crash that just happened recently. My condolences go to the family. May all the souls find peace. So obviously India is going to conduct a probe into that flight and why it crashed and what happened. I am sure the Americans will also be involved, and I'm sure Boeing will also be involved. It was not my intention to talk about the Air India crash. I wanted to talk about, Pakistan being referred to as a really good ally, a strategic partner of the US, right? But I decided to cover this Air India crash because of a specific reason. And I've said in previous video that I do read a lot, I do recall a lot of things. I cannot give you specific and exact things, dates and time and names, but I do recall quite a bit of things, and I'm very well read about certain things. And the reason I've decided to cover the Air India crash is because there was a series of accidents regarding a Boeing plane. The first alarm for that actually came from an Ethiopian pilot that spoke about a hiccup in the software design, the software system of the plane. Okay, and I don't know if you ever realized this, that it was automated in such a way if it made a bit of a turbulence, it would correct for itself. But they did not take into consideration another factor that allowed for it to overcorrect, and this actually led to a crash. And this Ethiopian pilot spoke about that. It was ignored, and the planes had subsequently crashed, right? And Boeing and the Americans, and this plane I think was heading to the Netherlands. So the Netherlands, the Dutch, they were involved in this investigation. They were involved in this investigation, and they were under pressure from the American government and Boeing to bury this. They buried this. Okay, they buried this report, and they blame it on pilot error, all of these things. They blamed it on everything else except Boeing. Subsequently, later on, there were more crashes. I think, I don't recall where it involved. There may have been European countries also, and somewhere in South America that was involved. And the findings showed that this was the fault, right? But no one spoke about the Ethiopian pilot, the Ethiopian experience, right? And that was swept under the rug. So I believe it was South Americans as well as Europeans because all these Boeing planes, I'm not sure if it was the Dreamliner, but all the Boeing planes were subsequently grounded until there was a fix, and then they were certified to fly, right? They were grounded by every countries in the world. So the reason I'm bringing this up is I don't want India and the Indian government, Air India, to be pressured by Boeing and the US. This will happen. They may try to become involved. And people, please like and share this video, and make sure every Indian view this video. And I want this video to reach the Air India officials as well as the government officials responsible for the aviation industry in India and safety in India, okay? Because it is very important and critical to go against and fight against American and Boeing pressure, and they will look to pressure that. So subsequently, other people receive compensation, and to the best of my knowledge, to this day, the Ethiopians have never been compensated. They blame pilot error, okay, under pressure from Boeing and the US government. They blame pilot error, and they never ever compensated the Ethiopians. If that's not blatant racism, I don't know what else is. And I hope that this video also reaches the Ethiopians, that they can reopen this investigation, because the Dutch government, the government of the Netherlands, they were part and parcel and party to burying that report by blaming the Ethiopians, and everybody was quick to accept it because they're Ethiopians. Okay, If they had listened to this pilot, the recording that I believe it was the recording that was retrieved from the black box, they would have prevented the subsequent loss of life. Okay? And actually, now that I'm mentioning it, because it's preventable loss of life, and they buried this information, all the subsequent victims, even though they have been compensated, needs to be compensated further, because I'm pretty sure they did not look into this, that they ignored the report, right? Like, it's worse than it actually is. But the Ethiopians were never compensated. Nobody's speaking about that. And let us be honest, there is racism involved in that. There is racism involved in that, blatant racism involved in that, okay? I, as a driver, when I drive my vehicle, even before anything goes wrong, I can feel it coming on. And I am sure it was the same way with that Ethiopian pilot. He must have been so in tune to his aircraft, the aircraft that he flew, that he knew there was something wrong. And he mentioned it, okay? His death was in vain. And his death was in vain because of racism, okay? I don't usually talk about racism in my videos, as my videos is only targeted towards the Indian community. Okay, we have things, I guess, worse than racism within our community, casteism. I guess there is some racism because of the Aryan-Dravidian divide. I have a video about that I'm going to post all online along with this video. Please look at that video. It's called The Dravidian Invasion of India. Not the Aryan invasion, the Dravidian invasion of India. Okay? We talk about the Aryan invasion, we need to talk about the Dravidian invasion. It happened? It's a fact. Yeah. So I wanted to put this video out. I wasn't going to put any video out. Well, I was going to put one out, but I was going to talk about Pakistan and why is this U.S. military personnel calling Pakistan a strategic ally, right? A strategic partner. And in one of my previous videos, I talk about India needing to evolve from strategic autonomy to strategic active autonomy. And my next video is going to be about that, and I'm going to cover that. So please watch my next video. I've never asked before, but I want you to recommend my video. I want you to like my video. I want you to share my video. Please do that. I want to get a movement going. So back to this Air India thing. I want the Indian government not to give in to pressure and to really investigate this, because Boeing and the American government, and especially Donald Trump, is going to try to place a lot of pressure and even use the threat of sanctions and trade to coerce India and force India into bearing anything. And I ask the Indian government, have some pride and stand up for what is right. Okay? I don't know if you all know this, but when COVID first came out, 2 Indian scientists published a report saying that COVID was man-made. And then this Fauci guy, who's not a virologist, okay? He's not a virologist, rubbished the report and said that it must be out of their mind. And there was racism involved in that. And these Indian scientists subsequently withdrew their report. Okay, because they have that inferiority complex. And then later on they talk about a lab leak, and there might be the possibility that's a man-made virus. These Indians did not back themselves up. The government did not back themselves up. They gave into an inferiority complex. There was racism involved. Please don't do that. Please stand your ground. Stand your ground, my brothers and sisters. Stand your ground. So again, I am putting out this video there with the appeal to the Indian government and the aviation authorities in India and the authorities within India to please not buckle under American pressure or buckle under Boeing pressure, because they will try to say that this is pilot error when it might have been a mechanical failure due to Boeing. Okay, so please do not give in to American pressure and Boeing's pressure, and they will try to use the trade talks and the threat of sanctions against India to force India to bury this report. Do not fall for that. Okay, in fact, if America tries to attempt this, I want India to publicize that and say that this is what Trump is trying to force us to do, this is what Boeing is trying to force us to do, this is what the US is trying to force us to do, and win global sympathy. Okay, because let Airbus take the take the lead and let Boeing go under. But this must a stop must be placed to this. Okay, let us not repeat what happened to the Ethiopians when they had their Boeing crashed on them, and the Dutch government, the government of the Netherlands, swept the report under the rug because of pressure from the United States and Boeing. Please do not let history repeat itself. Right now, it's really rhyming, okay? And I don't want it to repeat itself, okay? Like I said to you in my previous videos, I am very well read. I recall things pretty good. I cannot give you specifics, but please go look it up yourselves. You will find out. I actually encourage you all to do research so that you can see what I'm speaking about is actually truthful. I'm not just making things up. I'm speaking the truth. Okay? This is not slander to Boeing. Definitely not a slander to the US government, not a slander to the Dutch government, because if they come after me, we can go and find out where it happened. We can go find out where it happened. And I'm sure there will be lawyers, and this was going to blow out of proportion. However, if US government, Boeing, and the Dutch government are listening and you want me to remove this video, well, I guess I'll go to Google and YouTube to get it done, right? I mean, YouTube has already removed a few of my videos, so I don't see why they won't do it. But I want you all to like and share this video so that it does not get buried. Please like and share this video. And I want the Indian government, please, I want the Indian government to, people from India, to share this video, because I need this video to reach the right people within India. Okay? Because I said to you, Nehru has entrenched inferiority complex within Bharat. Okay? That idiot who had an inferiority complex, entrenched it and institutionalized it within Bharat. Okay, and we need to get rid of that. So please, people, I'm going to end this video here. I'm also going to put out another video I already did. I haven't uploaded it yet. It's about the Dravidian, hear me right, the Dravidian invasion of Bharat. Okay, I want these people who are subscribed to Dravidian identity, who claims who want to talk about them being the original inhabitants of India while forgetting the pre-Dravidian population of Bharat. And I am also one of the descendants of them. Okay, so please watch that video as well. But this video, as well as my other videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, with that I leave you. I say Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.